Oh, I'm already live. Oy. I know me doing this is weird, but it's the only way to help me wake up. Because I got eye bags. You know why? Because I've been up since 4 a.m. and it's almost 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's currently 9:45 p.m. So, yeah. But anyways, let's get started on today's video. Video. Live stream. Not a video. This is not, well, I don't know. Is a live stream a video? Is it? Is a live stream a video? Hi there. I know I'm gonna say your username wrong. I'm very sorry. Um, Lee Lenient Lenient. Hopefully I'm saying it right. I'm sorry. Frog 298. Hello. How are you today? Or how are you doing this morning? Or, yeah, today. Sorry. I cannot tell time. So, obviously, for today, I'm going to be drawing here. I want to show you before what I had drew, or I guess sketched, or yesterday. So this was yesterday's. Oh, they probably left because I said their username wrong, which I always do. I don't know why. I am terrible at like pronouncing usernames. I'm just terrible. Getting there, shirt close. I'm good. What about you? I am losing my mind. Let's just say that. I am slowly losing my mind. Hello. Well, thank you very much, Frog298. I do hope that you're doing well, though. I do hope. Hello, brother. I'm from Hopefully I'm saying that right. One What? I don't know. What? Do you have a good day? I'm alive. Let's just say that I am still alive. God bless. But yeah, so here's how my day went really. Well, technically my morning, because my job has me up pretty early, so half the time really, if I'm like getting up early for work at 4 a.m., immediately when it's like 9 o'clock, when it's like 9 o'clock for me in the morning, I've been up for 5 hours. So to me, that is the feeling of like, I don't know, like I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm doing, okay? I'm just trying to get through my day. That's all. Hello. Do I have Roblox? No, I do not. I do not have Roblox. I'm sorry. I'm happy people see my comments. Aw. Well, I hope they see your comment too. We in the same time zone and I'm at New York. Oh, wait, actually, at my job, I did meet someone from New York. I did meet someone from New York, and let me just tell you, he tells me when it snows there, it snows and you gotta bundle up, okay? And that's just me saying that the closest like up north I've ever been up to is either Michigan or Pennsylvania, but that's about it. Okay. I've never been to New York. I've never been to Vermont. But yeah, if I ever decide to go up to New York or Vermont, I definitely say that I would want to do it during the summer times because, or the spring times really, because because I don't know. I feel like if I go during like the spring times, it might be a little bit nicer, or maybe go during autumn or the fall. Winter or summer there, I've been told to be cautious when it comes to those two, only because during the summers, if it gets like very hot, it can get very hot in New York. Maybe not like West Coast hot, but gets hot. Um, and also, if I go during the winter though, it'd be like very cold. So my thoughts, I hope to maybe go in like a spring or an autumn. That's all. Okay, well, getting into today's live stream, I'm gonna be drawing again. So this was, hold on, let me show you. So this was yesterday's. If you are just showing up, this was from yesterday's. And for those who didn't know, this was inspired from a painting that I did. This one right here. Except what makes this different is, oh, sorry, I nearly slipped on my table. What makes this different is that this actually has three eyes. This has three eyes, and that painting only has one eye. So, yeah. But now we are gonna be drawing again. And I hope you're drawing too. If you're drawing, then okay. Let's get into drawing. Now, let me just say that when it comes to me drawing, and I feel like I've already mentioned this a few times, I always have like I know what I want to draw first in like my head, and immediately when I start off with the paper, however though, I just always feel like I'm gonna screw it up somehow just because I always do, but you know what? I'm 24 years old. I'm 24, so let's just see like how this turns out because I ain't got time to feel sad for myself. Let's just say that. I don't have time to pick on myself now because I am 24 years old and I should not be doing that. Okay. Where's the eraser? Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, Fortnite gamer said gay. And? And? What's the big deal? And? Okay. So here's what I got so far. Here's what I got so far. No, I'm bisexual. I'm bisexual. I've said that in multiple live streams at this point. I'm bisexual. I'm attracted to women and men. And yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with who you are. Let's just be clear about that. There is nothing wrong with who you are, okay? You know, I personally believe that it's not what the outside of a person looks like, it's more of the inside. Like, I try to see people for their heart. I try to see people for their heart, like who they are inside, not who they are on the outside. Like, people could stereotype you just because based on the way you look on your outside, but I prefer to know who you are as you on the inside. Okay? So I can be a lesbian even if I'm a guy? No, no, no. I'm sorry. No. Because here's the thing though. So growing up, I actually had an old friend of mine who basically he would tell people, okay, he was a guy, and he still is. He's a guy, but he classified himself as, or not classified, classified. That's just weird. He said he identified as a male lesbian. And when I heard that, I was just like, what? Because it just confused me. And then he said, well, people, assume this and that about me, so I'm just gonna say it. I am a male lesbian. Like, that's exactly what my friend would say. Well, my old friend, we don't talk anymore. Because after graduation, we had obviously went our own separate ways. But yeah, so that old friend of mine used to clarify that he was a male lesbian, which looking back on it now, do keep in mind we were teenagers. We were teenagers back in high school, so yeah. So we were just everyone knows that when you're in high school, you're really just trying to figure yourself out. So, and it just so happens that he was trying to figure himself out with what, I don't know, I guess what he personally believed, or I don't know. I mean, I was okay with him being himself because, I don't judge him for that, but in my opinion, I just feel like I don't know. He just went nuts. That's all I can say. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, so we don't talk anymore. Let's just say that. We haven't talked to each other since, wow, since graduation, which that was 2019. I graduated high school in 2019, and that was the last time we ever talked to each other. So we haven't talked to each other in, I don't know, 6 years. Yep, 6 years. And I think it was okay because we were both going on separate. We were both going with our own separate lives, which is okay. He said he was going to the military, and I was going to be going to community college. So we kind of just like split up, which is perfectly fine. Okay, so here's what I got so far. This is what I got so far, but yeah, this way I'm still working on it, so it's not done, but yeah. So, anyways, over the years, basically, I always wondered what had happened to him, and I always follow him on the only places that I do follow him on is Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, for most of those years, I really didn't like wonder like what was he doing or who was he with. I mean, I assumed he was with his longtime girlfriend that I have known. So me and my old friend's girlfriend were just friends, right? We were just friends. We didn't really like um yeah, we were just platonic friends, which is actually okay because I feel like nowadays people just want to like, stereotype, if a female and a male apparently can't be platonic friends, which I find kind of weird because I feel like that's perfectly fine. I mean, because why can't a male and a female be platonic friends? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, that's completely normal. That should just be normal, okay? But for some reason, people want to say that and stereotype that they're dating, which couldn't be more false. Couldn't be more false, let's be honest. But yeah, however, though, when I did try to check up on him, I saw that he wasn't really active on social media. And at first I thought, I guess he's just busy with his own life, which makes sense. I mean, because hey, a lot of people that I did know back in high school, I didn't know if like some of them I saw that they were getting married, they were getting engaged, they were having kids, and I just assumed he fell into that line until I had saw that he was apparently dating someone his family didn't approve of, and basically his family kicked him out of their lives, which after I heard that, I was just like, what? Well, actually, no. First off, I was just like, wait, so he broke up with his ex, and okay, hold on. So here's what I got now. I feel like we all know where this drawing's gonna be going, so get ready. So yeah, apparently he had broken up with his ex a while ago, and then later he apparently started dating this woman, and this woman had a kid, which really wouldn't be a problem though. It wasn't really the kid, it was more like the type of person he was dating. And apparently this woman was just like very toxic, very horrible, and had somehow convinced. Whom are you talking about? I'm talking about an old friend of mine. I'm talking about an old friend of mine who I used to be friends with, but we haven't been in contact in 6 years. And I never knew what was going on with him until I found out what was going on with him on social media and through some old his family friends, his family. Um, and pretty much it's just sad because I used to know him when we were much younger than high school years. We were friends back in elementary school, I believe. Like he became my friend, he became one of the first friends I made when my family had moved to another state, here in the US, which if you know what it's like to move and like, lose a few friends here and have to like go to a new state, a new school or somewhere else and have to like, make new friends, you know how hard that is, right? You know it's hard to make new friends in a new place where you really don't know anybody. So that's just what I did. So yeah, so what I decided, so when I first became friends with my old friend, honestly, I thought, okay, I'll give this a try, you know. And we did become good friends. Yes, we also had our ups and downs, but we were good friends. Until after we graduated high school, and then later, we went on our own paths, which is okay. And, people tend to, drift apart. However, though, I did not expect that he would apparently be going through something that involved him cutting off his own family, and all because of a woman who apparently came from a bad past, a very shady past. So, and I don't know why I had these thoughts about reaching out to like try and contact him to see if he was doing okay, if maybe he wanted to hang out. But then I remembered, that's none of my business. I should just, stay in my lane and not, well, you know, not pry, not pry into anything that's my business. So, but that's all I know really, because yeah, it just sucks to see like someone who I once knew now they're going through something where I think that they do need help but can't say it because, well, yeah. I am from Pakistan. Can you tell me what time it is there? It is currently 3:04 p.m. It is 3:04 p.m. About friend aren't for anyone. There are too many people that come in our life like they are my friends, but actually they're not for us. That I want to say like that is true. A lot of people who make friends, it's hard to. I feel like it's just hard to like keep friends you make when you're a kid because I mean, you want to have like people around you for life, but sometimes certain events can cause, a lot of times it can cause, two people to or more to not even hang out. Let's just say that. So, and that pretty much had happened to me and that old acquaintance of mine, and now he apparently has been kicked out from his family, and I am currently just doing my thing. I feel like the only benefit is that I have yet to get into trouble with the law, which apparently is very common for people my age, but yeah, nope. I mean, the worst I've ever done was like snuck a blueberry out of a container at the store, but people already do that anyway, and it was just one, so. But then I ended up buying the entire container of blueberries because, well, my conscience pretty much told me to buy it. So I ended up buying blueberries without even knowing what to do with them. Okay, so here's what I got now. I'm trying to work with the eyes. I'm trying to work with the eyes because right now at the moment they're not doing what I want them to do. And it's seriously infuriating. Because I had general, because like I said, when it comes to me and when I draw something or do something with art, I always feel like I have something in my head, like I have the idea, and then trying to like draw it onto the paper or sketch it out or anything like that, it does not end up coming out the way I want. And pretty much this is just a basic drawing. This is just basic. It's not crazy like Picasso level, but it is the best I can do for now. Let's just say that. Okay, I think we might be getting somewhere with this. Okay, here, let me show you now. So this is what I got now. You so good at drawing, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I started live streaming my drawings just because I don't know. I was bored one day and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go live and draw. I'm gonna start drawing live because I had have you changed your hairstyle? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Thank you for noticing. So what happened? So what happened was basically I had to get a haircut because my bangs were pretty much in my face. Because the last haircut I got before this one, the last one I got, apparently it got butched. And what I mean by that is they had apparently left out my hair a little too long, which caused my bangs to apparently grow more in my face. And basically for like a month or two, I had to go like, you know what I mean? You go to make like the bangs get out of your face. You know what I mean? And I feel like normally for people who like, I don't know, wear like hair gel or something like that, or like have some of that fancy hair stuff, I don't do that. I will be honest. I don't do stuff like that to my hair. I wash it, I dry it, that is all. Okay? Long hair looks good on you. I mean, I think in some cases, yeah, it may look good, but here's the thing though. I have very thick hair. I have very thick hair, meaning my hair gets very heavy and yeah, I just, cut my hair. Okay, and I honestly do like it. I do like having short hair only because it just helps me like, it helps me feel like more comfortable, I guess. That's all I can say. Hello. Hello there, Miriam. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Mariam's art. Can I ask you a question? Sure, you can ask me a question. You are handsome as usual. Aw, thank you. Almon? Almon? Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Thank you. Mwah. Okay. So let's see what we got in the drawing. So this is what I got now. And I think I might actually start going off with the black pencil now. But first I gotta sharpen it. Where are you from? I am from the US, sadly. Which, if you know why I say sadly, if you know why I say sadly, I'm from the US, then, I mean, if you've been seeing the news on the US, you would know why. Because currently, right now, the US is not doing well. We are currently in such a serious crisis that I just generally don't know what to do. You are pronouncing it right. Good. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, here's the thing though. I basically cannot when people has here's the thing though, when I meet someone and they have like a very unique name, sorry. Sorry for belching real quick. Whenever they have like a very unique name, I always try to remember it as best as possible. And if if I keep on getting it wrong, I will always keep on apologizing. Like I will apologize and apologize and apologize over and over and over and over and over again, until I am told that I said it right. So, okay. Have you been to LA? No, I have not been to LA, but I have lived in California before. I have lived in California, but I lived in a different city. I lived in a different city. What is a crisis? Basically, America at this point is going downhill. The 2020s has not been fun. The 2020s have not been fun. Let's just say that. Have you played the new Skate? What? Have I ever skated? Have I ever skated? No. Oh wait, no, I have roller skated? Rollerblading? What's it called? I've been to a roller rink, okay? I've been to a roller rink, and I had roller skated, I think that's what it's called. I had roller skated, but I had fallen on my butt so many times. I had fallen on my butt so many times, if we're being honest, okay? Because I was terrible at balancing myself, so I just went, I would always just fall on the floor. And it would have been okay if there weren't other people in the roller rink and if my hands weren't like sticking out, but then always pulled them back in because I was always afraid like someone might, crush my hand. Let's just say that. Can I ask a question? Sure. LA or California is most expensive city? Well, California is a state. LA is definitely expensive. I will say that. LA is a lot. Let's just say that. I feel like any very popular city in America, like LA or Las Vegas or Washington, D.C., or even New York City, it's very a lot, meaning like they always, those are the types of cities that are very expensive to well, to be around. And honestly, the most expensive place I've ever been to was my state capital, meaning I live in North Carolina, and our state capital is Raleigh, and it is very expensive. Like I actually once went to a little burger place with my class when I was in 11th grade, so when I was a junior, and I decided to just order the single cheeseburger. However, I did not expect it to be 15 bucks. 15 bucks for a single cheeseburger when I could have waited to go to McDonald's and it was like $2. So yeah, very popular cities can be very expensive. Let's just say that. What is your name? My name is Dom. What is yours? Oh, how old are you? I am 24. I'm 24. I am a Gen Z. I am 24 years old. Same. I have also fallen many times. Aw, I'm so sorry. I sympathize with you. I sympathize with you. Because let's face it, roller skating is not fun. If you know, if you're falling. I mean, it can be fun. It can be fun. It's just, you can always fall. You pref Can you speak Arabic? No, I can't speak Arabic, but I do speak a few other languages. So I can speak a little bit of Spanish. So I can say stuff like Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? Estoy muy cansado. Um, Hasta mañana. Adiós. Hasta luego. I think that means see you later. I also know a little bit of Chinese. Ni hao, ni hao ma, wo hen hao, ni jiao shi ma, wo jiao dong, wo jiao dong. My name is Dom, wo jiao dong. Uh, 谢谢, bukachi, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and count to five. And I also speak, sorry, I had to itch my thigh. Don't know why I said that. But yeah, I also speak, recently I've been trying to learn Korean. So, 안녕하세요, che, dom, inida. Hopefully I'm saying that right. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm very sorry. I am just starting to learn Korean, okay? I am just starting to. I am just starting to. Oh, in French. Bonjour, je m'appelle Dom. So yeah, I can't speak Arabic, but I can speak those languages. You prefer frozen yogurt? Depends on my mood. I feel like depends on my mood. I if I do want frozen yogurt, then I will have frozen yogurt. Sometimes I feel like I do want to have frozen yogurt. Other times I just feel like having ice cream. But yeah, I'm no stranger to frozen yogurt. I'm My name is Sarah. Hi Sarah. I'm 29. I'm 29. Nice to meet you. Hello. So yeah, yeah, so I'm 24. I'm 24, which a lot of people get confused and think I'm like 19 or 20 or something, but nope, I am 24. I was born 2001. I'm a Gen Z. I honestly thought you were 19 or something. Why do people Wait, what's it that you just said? What did it It's a game on Xbox. My whole channel is covered in a game. I love it. It's a new version. And if you like games and playing skate games, you will probably like it. Okay, I will be honest, I don't really have an Xbox, not because I can't afford it. Well, actually, I can't afford one. I currently can't afford one, even with my salary. But yeah, I just really never got into like playing video games, I guess, which isn't really a problem because I know a lot of other people who play video games and they say like they play video games as like a stress reliever after like a long day, they're just playing video games and a lot of people think they're lazy, but sometimes the people that I've met who said that they play video games, often they say it's like another way of like, releasing some stress, which hey, if it's not hurting anybody, it's not hurting anybody. Let's just say that, okay? If you play video games to help you relieve a stressful like day you had or anything like that, then go for it, okay? Did you finish your picture from yesterday? Yes, I did, and I posted it. I posted it on here so you can go and check it out. Because you look young. Thank you. Thank you for thinking that I look young. I don't know why. I feel like what I'm going through is just, I don't know, I feel cursed. Which a lot of people have told me that I should be grateful that I look like I'm young because that means that, somehow I'm like, I guess, I don't know. They tell me like I'm cheating father time or whatever like that. And I'm just like, no. Because just imagine like when I'm like here's something that I feel like I can imagine myself being like I'm about to turn 30. Well, I'll be 30 in like 6 years and I do have plans that I hope to achieve by the time I'm 30. Not like major or big, but like simple. Let's just say that. Simple, I guess. But anyways, so yeah, I if I turn 30 and I look like I'm still 20, in that case, I'll be like one of my aunts. So I have an aunt actually that is 13 years older than me. I have an aunt that is 13 years older than me. Yes, 13 because that's how old she was when I was born. My aunt was 13 when I was born. And yeah, she is in her 30s. Specifically, she's in her late 30s. I'm not gonna say what age, but she is in her late 30s and she looks like she's 29. So, there you go. Yeah, so my aunt looks like she's 29 and I look like apparently right now I look like I'm still apparently either 19 or 20, which makes no sense to me, and a lot of people say I should take that as a compliment. Hold on, let me show you my drawing that I got thus far. Okay. Have you ever thought of growing a beard? I actually grew facial hair when I was in high school, and apparently people told me that it made me look older, but then when I started to shave and pretty much I don't know why I start truth be told, I don't remember like why I started to shave, but yeah. But then apparently it started making me look younger, so and apparently people are very obsessed with their age, so and I sadly had fallen into the nasty habit of trying to look younger because I wanted people to like me for following their ideas, which now looking back on it was clearly a bad mistake on my end. Okay. Here's what we got now. Okay. Do you prefer Okay, what's that? Do you prefer cats or dogs? Do I prefer cats or dogs? I like both. I like both cats and dogs. I actually have all my siblings have mostly cats. Very few of them have dogs. But I grew up with both dogs and cats. So yeah, and also some turtles. some snakes, which is weird because I am very scared of snakes. I am petrified. Let's just say that. And yeah, so snakes, I will never have those as a pet. I mean, if I'm like at your house and you have a pet snake, that's fine. Just don't let me touch it. Oof, sorry, I got scared for a sec. Don't let me touch it and don't let it come near me, okay? I am terrified of snakes. Keep it away from me. Yes, I am that type of person who's afraid of snakes because I have had so many bad experiences with snakes, meaning I've had moments where basically I've either been almost bitten by a snake or I've had a snake sneak up on me and scared the living Jesus out of me. Sorry. Hi there, Val VKY. Hopefully, I'm saying your username right. I'm very sorry. Do you play Rubik Cube? I used to have a Rubik's Cube, but thank you. Why? Why to what? Why am I scared of snakes? Well, let's take it back to when, if you want to hear the story, let's go back to when I was 11. So when I was 11, I went to my first summer camp. And when I was 11, basically, I went to my first summer camp and I thought, I was going to have a fun time. I was going to go swimming. I was going to, do giant campfire, giant bonfire with everyone else. And I assumed it was all going to go well. But then, but also, I should also mention that I was with my friends at the time. I was with my friends. So, I got to go to camp with my friends for the summer, which was fun. But then, so here's what happened basically. Me and my friends were just hanging out. We were playing board games because really you couldn't have technology. You could, but let's just say phone chargers or like charging stations were a lot. You can't really find one. But yeah, so one night, me and my friends are playing a board game, and some fellow campers from another campground, I guess they wanted to play a prank on the cabin I was staying in with my friends. And apparently, so we were sitting on this picnic table. It was dark, but we did have the light from the picnic table on. And when we were just talking, all of a sudden I felt something hit my ankles. I looked down and I saw it was the body of a snake, and I just jumped up from that table, started screaming, started hollering, because I thought it was gonna bite. It had bit me. Yeah, and the reason why I thought it was biting me was because there was also a bunch of mosquitoes around, so I was terrified to even look down to see if like it had bitten me or not. It didn't. And it wasn't until like after a few minutes later when I did calm down, that they looked under the table and saw that it was a snake's body, but it didn't have a head. So, yeah. And then later, those campers pretty much got in trouble because, well, even if they could try to have determined what it looked like, um, the they didn't know if it was poisonous or not. So yeah. Yep, snakes are scary. I don't like reptiles. I don't mind lizards and I don't mind alligators. I just don't mind. I just hate snakes. How are you, bro? I'm doing okay. Are you Christian or Muslim? Christian. But I'm not that. Here's the thing though. I was told that, there's no wrong way. Technically, I told this to myself. I told this to myself. There's no wrong way for me to love God. Even if I, miss a few times at church, I always end up praying. I always say a little prayer for myself before, and I also say a little prayer for my workers as well, my coworkers, for when I go to work, because where I work at, yes, I work at a hotel, and sometimes we'll have good days, sometimes we'll have bad days. I always pray for me, my coworkers, and of course, I also pray for my family as well and my friends. I always pray for everyone to have a safe day. I always pray for them to make sure they have a good week and make sure their week goes well. Basically, I always pray for everybody's safety. So I do believe that there is a heaven and a hell. I will say that. I do believe that there's a heaven and a hell. Um, yeah, but I'm not too crazy, I guess. The reason why is because me, like, I do have, I do have a heart where I accept people for who they are on the inside, and not what people try to stereotype them on the outside. So, have you seen Stranger Things? No, I have not. I've seen them previously. I've seen previous seasons. I have not seen the new season. What's your age? Mine is 17. I'm 24. I am 24. I am getting up to next year I'll be 25, so I am officially almost 1 year away from my quarter life crisis. Yeah. You are so mature person. Aw, thank you. I don't know why. I feel like I might not be at times because there are times where basically I like to act like a complete fool or a child, meaning like here's the thing though. I will still make like weird jokes of like me. I don't know. For some reason, I keep thinking of monkeys. Monkeys is very common. I always make jokes about monkeys, I guess, meaning like specifically like, do you think a monkey and a sloth could easily be like distant cousins? Like that's literally my brain. I know that's weird, but yeah. What do you do for a living? I work at a hotel. I am a chef. I'm a chef at a hotel. So I cook omelets. Specifically, I cook cheese and veggie omelets. I cook scrambled eggs. I cook biscuits, gravy, pancakes, waffles. I cook different types of sausages. So I cook pork and I cook turkey. I cook, what else do I cook? I also cook some grits. Basically anything like breakfast type, that's what I do. So here's what I got in my drawing. You like drawing? I'm an artist. I got a medal and more than 10 achievements. How about you? I wish I got that many achievements, I'm gonna be honest. I have always gotten participation medals. Never once have I ever had like I never had I never had a first place, second place, or anything like that. It was always participation, and that was it. So, which I don't mind, because here's the thing though. Honestly, for me though, it's not really about like how I place, really. It's more so just like, I tried my best, and maybe if I just keep, if I do it again and, if I just keep going and keep practicing and work a bit harder, then, maybe at some point I will feel like I might hit first place. I don't know. But yeah. So I've never really been that way, I guess. I never been someone who'd always win at life. Okay, let's just say that. I never always think that I win in life, but I have participated. I've definitely won a lot of participations. Let's just say that. And like I said, I was never one of the big achievers, specifically in like sports or anything like that. And I always assume, for me though, it's been always kind of weird. Like for me though, winning had always been pretty like terrifying to me because I always assume like the only people that do deserve to win are of course the people who, obviously, right in front of me, they deserve to win and I deserve, well, just to be glad that I was able to participate. Really, that was my mindset as a kid. Okay, that was my mindset as a kid. Okay. I never once believed that I deserved a first place trophy, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. Okay. Because obviously those belong to, those who, I mean, yeah, they worked very hard for, and who am I to get upset about if I never like win or nothing? Which really though, I feel like that's what is most important to talk about, not being upset that you didn't win, but just be glad you were able to participate, is what I should say. Let's just say that. Okay, so here's what I got. Yeah, I think overall, this does look good. I give you, I don't know. I think it looks okay. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like leave the demons this color because really though I just wanted to outline it and then add some just a little bit of color, so like red for the eyes and black hair and obviously a black eye, or like a soulless eye really. So yeah, so really though the point of this was just to draw something that whatever emotion I am feeling, and let's just say as a teenager I'd felt this emotion a lot where basically I had voices in my head telling me to say or do stuff that I shouldn't, which luckily I was always able to think at the last minute to not do anything that the voices in my head are telling me to. Oh, sorry. Did you ever went in depression? Yes, yes. Let's just say that, yes. I have actually talked about how I first believed that I when I was specifically a teenager in high school, I did believe that I had depression at a very young age as a teenager, but I never went to a therapist or anything like that until I was 18 because really though, I just wanted to see like if I was actually depressed, then I don't know. I mean, because it felt like in my head that I was depressed, but maybe I was just not actually depressed. I don't know. Because growing up, when I was a teenager, anytime I felt like I was sad or anything like that, I was always told that I was just being a moody teenager and that I was just going through a phase. So apparently, me being sad every day and feeling upset over and over and feeling like a failure in life at a teenage, very young age was apparently a phase. And it wasn't until when I did turn 18 and I went to go see a specialist, meaning I went to go, meaning I went to go see someone after an event occurred where basically I had like broken down and I said, I feel sad, I feel like I want to scream, but also at the same time, if I say something, no one will even listen to me. So yeah, but anyways, so I went to go see a specialist, and that specialist actually recommended me a therapist, and that was when first off, before I got the therapist, I was talking to this man, and he was, I guess, the person who assigns you a therapist, I believe, who assigns you yeah, who assigns you your therapist, or at least a therapist you feel comfortable with, if that makes sense. And um, we had talked and chatted, and he told me that most likely I was dealing with some type of depression. And he had told me to try to see if I can like look back on certain events in my life. And I do remember it took me back to well around in like my elementary school years, to be specific. I remembered in my elementary school years, there were days where I would come home and I would just cry in the bathroom. And I was always sad, I was always upset. And reliving those memories kind of like brought a lot of like ideas in my head meaning that, meaning maybe I was depressed, but at an early age, but no one was, no one really like knew or like saw the signs because well, they're not therapists. They certainly weren't therapists for me growing up. Sorry, the lighting's just weird. The lighting keeps going in and out. I'm very sorry. Fix your so yeah. But anyways, so after I had explained what I was like as a child, being sad, crying in the bathroom, and then in my teenage years, getting a little bit more rougher for me because both my parents had decided to divorce, and basically, let's just say that was hell. That was hell on earth. I would not wish any child to go through that, let alone if you were a teenager, if you were a child. Well, yeah, I do not wish for anybody to go through a divorce like that. Let's just say that. Um, yeah, so and apparently when going when going through those days, it really was definitely hard. It was definitely hard for me because I always just assumed that, maybe I should have believed everyone that I was just going through a phase and, apparently depression's not real. Um, but it wasn't until that when I started going to a therapist and letting out my emotions, all of a sudden that's when I realized I suffered from depression almost as much as I suffer from anxiety because I do have anxiety. So, yeah. So, yeah, I know that the person asking me asked me if like, you know, have I ever been depressed? Yes, and I still do to this day as an adult. And yeah, it does suck. You still have like your good days and your bad days, but I feel like if you can find ways to help you get you out of bed, like for me, specifically on my days off from work, and like meaning like the next day I don't have to go to work, I always end up, you know what, I'm gonna get out of bed, I'm gonna go for a run. And that's what I do. I spend my mornings going for a run. Helps me clear my head and, excuse me, sorry, helps me clear my head for the day. Well, people like me, well, I think anybody really who gets depressed, I mean, I can't really say for anybody. I can't really say for anybody, okay? Because a lot of people can, from what I understand, a lot of people can get depressed in many different ways, okay? Getting depressed is not all going to be the same, okay? You can't get depressed just like the same person like sitting right next to you or beside you or in front of you. But yeah, a lot of people develop depression much differently than others. For me, I had apparently started developing depression when I was clearly in my early elementary school years. So yeah. And if you're a person who says like, you don't have depression or anything like that, then that's perfectly fine. I mean, if you're in a happy place, that's good. You should always be in a happy place. You should always be in a happy place. But for some people who do have depression, a lot of people also, misconstrued that as like laziness or something. But yeah, but that's not true. Okay? A lot of people who do suffer from depression, when it hits ya, and let's just say it sucks. Okay? It is not a fun thing. It is not good. It just, yeah, and it can take you to some very dark places. Yeah, self-harm is definitely very common. One of the many common things in depression. I will be honest. When I was a teenager, I did indulge with self-harm. Meaning that I did stuff specifically to my fingers, where basically, I'm not going to get into too many details about that because I don't want to get banned or anything like that. But yeah, let's just say it's not, what I did was not healthy. What I did was not healthy, and that I needed to stop because my mind was seriously going to some very dark places to the point where I wanted to erase myself off this earth. Okay? And that was definitely something I should have not done. Something that I should not have thought of, but, when it comes to a person's mind, you don't know where it could be going because, you've never been that person for a day, let alone their entire life. So, and the only thing you can do is just try to support with whatever that person is going through. This is just my advice. I'm not a professional therapist. I'm not anything like that. I am just another person who obviously went through depression very differently or maybe very similar to anyone here who's watching. Okay? And all I can do is just say, please make sure that if you have a friend or a family member or anyone else like that or anyone else who is currently going through depression, please, please, please don't be afraid to reach out to them. Don't be afraid to reach out to them and try to help them as best you can. I mean, you can say all these things, you can say anything to help lift up their spirits, but if it does get worse, please, 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 please try and help them as best you can. Because at the end of the day, every life deserves to live on until their natural time comes, I want to say. No, I'm not trying to. Listen here, okay? Before you end up saying stuff, think about what you're saying before you end up typing it. Because obviously, yes, if you've never been through depression and all that, but you know a friend who is, then go talk to that friend and let them describe to you what it's like, okay? Because if you don't know what it's like, then you don't know what it's like, okay? But if you see a friend or a family member going through it, talk to them and they'll tell you what it seems like through their eyes. But, okay, anyways, getting past that little speech, because obviously I did not mean for that to happen, because it's, but it is a very important thing to talk about. So overall, this was my drawing for today. So I definitely will be posting this later today, so that way you can, go and check it out, and also comment down below in the picture in the post. So, some ideas of like what you think the drawing should be called, anything like that, really. What do you think this should be called? Do you have any interesting titles for it? Like, what do you think this should be, like, named? Just wondering, okay? And also, if you haven't yet, I did post my previous drawing from yesterday. And it's still up there, so if you want to, then, you can go and see the post from yesterday's and just, tell me what name you think I should call it. What name should you think I should call this drawing? So, and what I mean is this one from yesterday's. So. Okay. So this was yesterday, so go and comment in that post what do you think this one should be called. And then, like I said, later today... Oh! I almost showed a sneak. Okay, so for those who also don't know, I'm currently working on like a little sketch, um, comic-like video that I'm working on, but I had to cover that up because very quickly because I almost revealed what it was. Oh, sweet cheese. I'm very scared. I was very scared. I thought like I was just gonna give it away, even though I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished the video yet, but it should be out. So basically, it's gonna be like a little sketch video that will hopefully be out not this Friday, but next Friday. Next Friday, okay? So make sure you are subscribed, you turn on the bell notifications for when I post that video. But in the meantime, um, so okay, so in the meantime, okay. So right before I end this live, I do want to mention I will have some short videos posted this week as normal. And I will be live again on Saturday, so make sure you click the bell notification so you can be notified when I go live. I go live every Saturday and Sunday. Um, yeah, I go live every Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, don't forget to. Sorry, my mind's just going. My mind's just saying, making me say weird stuff. I'm trying to figure out a good outro, a good outro. Okay, but yeah. So, anyways, I will be live again. I will be live again on Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you can be notified when I go live. But also, if you haven't yet, please like this live stream wherever the like button is. Please go and like it. Like this live stream if you enjoyed the video. Um, Also, don't forget, like I said, I'm going to be posting this later today. So make sure you go, once you see this post, go and comment what you think this drawing should be called. You know, just tell me like some interesting titles you think this drawing should be called, and also what do you think my previous drawing from yesterday should be called as well. Okay, like anything, like any type of title, you know, as long as it's like, you know, appropriate, of course, and nothing nothing bad. Okay. But yeah, but before I go, can Dante please stop bullying Claus? Please stop. Please stop. Because this is not helpful. Okay? This is not helpful. I do not like people commenting, bullying people online. I understand that you say that, you know, you've never been through depression or anything like that, and that's understandable, okay? But I need you to know that saying stuff like that to other people, you know, who have gone through depression or anything else with their mental health is not a good thing. And you are not bullying me, okay? You're not bullying me, which, quite frankly, I will be honest, I do get bullied from here to here, but you know what? I just brush them off because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, people are going to say what they're going to say about me, and I've grown up with that, okay? But the people who have grown up with that, you know, and aren't like me and like try to brush off whatever people say, okay? Don't understand, like, you know, even if you say that they're being too sensitive, don't, okay? Just be nice, okay? Because I prefer people to show up on my lives here and be nice, okay? So no bullying, no nothing like that, okay? I don't want to see people on here bullying each other, okay? I don't want to see people making fun of anything about a person, whether it's their physical appearance, their mental health, or anything like that, okay? Now, before I leave this live stream, please know that I hope that you have a wonderful day. I hope you take care. I hope you stay safe. And don't forget to subscribe and like this live stream and turn on the bell notifications so you can be notified when I go live on Saturday. Okay? And as always, take care, stay safe, and I love you. Mwah. Bye. Mwah.